Hi, Justin. We
Hey,
talked this morning to Matt Bockhorst, who had nice things to say about you. What do you remember about him, and just your thoughts on playing a former teammate, and that whole thing.
yeah, I think that's actually my third former team I get to play this year or years past. But yeah, me and Matt go way back. I remember when I was, I think, a junior or senior, he came in as a young guy, and he was probably one of the most memorable, just naturally just crazy teammates I played with. Just he's a guy that loves contact, which is my type of guy. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get to play him. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm sure a lot of words will be will be said, but it'll be fun, man.
We'll now go to Dave Biddle from 24/7 Sports.
Thank you. Justin, facing a guy like Trevor Lawrence again, is it a situation like is your mindset and the defense's mindset? He's going to make his share of plays. We just have to limit the really big plays. Just what's your mindset facing a guy like Lawrence?
I would say the overall mindset is just Coach Combs is one of the most influential coaches I've had. He has a saying, the team that wins usually is the team that runs to the ball the hardest and hits the hardest. So, I mean, that's going to be our motto the whole game is if we get 11 guys running to the ball every single play and 11 guys trying to make contact and create plays when they get to the ball, then I think we'll be all right.
Thank you.
Next will be Dan Hope from 11 Warriors.
Hey, Justin, this is, the third time you've been on the team for a game against Clemson. And, Jonathan was talking about, him finally getting to play a big role in this game. Do you kind of feel the same way about, you get to play Clemson and this time you finally get to really be a big part of it?
Yeah, I would say it's a little different this year just because me and John both have bigger roles. We got to step up as leaders this year. I know in years past we had a little bit less of a role, but obviously this year being as leaders and some of the guys who have been there for the previous games we played against Clemson, we have a lot of knowledge on this game and what it takes or what it will take to win this game and what we have to do different. So, yeah, it's exciting to have this new, bigger role, but we're excited for it.
We'll now go to Tim May from Letterman Row.
Following along that same line, Justin, we were talking about Trey Sermon finally getting a bunch of carries, and suddenly he got in a stride, in a rhythm, and it showed. And I'm just wondering, from your vantage point, it certainly seems like the last couple of games, especially, you've gotten into that same kind of rhythm or stride, playing linebacker. Has it felt that way to you? And is there even more to come in that sense from you?
Yeah, I would say most definitely. It's a lot of times it's when you're out there, you just need to make that first hit, that first play. I was actually watching Chris Farley, that video of his entrance or whatever, where he goes crazy, gets the crowd going and everything. He says he does that just to get the nerves out and just to get his feet wet. I would say the same thing with football, man. It's when you're out there, you're just looking to make that first big play, and then once you make that first big play, man, it's just you're in the flow. Everything becomes easy.
Thanks, man.
Next up is Nathan Baird from Cleveland.com.
Justin, the move that Pete Werner made this year over to Will, I mean, obviously he was starting on the other side where you are in this game last year, but just how has he impacted the defense most with what he's done making that move over to Will?
Oh yeah, Pete's a beast. Pete's an absolute great player. One of the guys who's always running to the football. If you turn on the tape, anytime you watch Pete, he's going to be running to the ball. And yeah, we've grown to expect that from him. So he's definitely a huge part of our defense, huge part of our team. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he does Friday.
We'll now go to Patrick Murphy from 24/7 Sports.
Justin, in last year's game, the defense was able to contain Travis Etienne, at least from a rushing standpoint, but he was still able to get out and make some big plays in the past game. How aware and how much conversation has there been of that, and knowing that to have success, you need to be able to shut a guy like that down in both facets?
Yeah, I mean, that's been a focus for sure. I think every week our defense is built around stopping big plays, and sometimes we've let that fall this year. And I think that's obviously been a big focal point of this week is just limiting all those big plays. And yeah, with a guy like that, it can be tough, but we're up for the challenge.
We have time for another question here if there's somebody with one. He almost got away. What was Spencer Holbrook from Letterman Row, please?
Justin, when you look at everything this offense can do against you guys or what they're going to try to do against you guys, is it an advantage to have already gone against it a year ago? I know it's a lot of different moving pieces and a lot of different guys in and out of the lineup from a year ago, but is it an advantage to kind of see a couple of the same guys twice?
I don't see it as an advantage. I think maybe more mentally than physically, knowing what it takes as far as preparation going in this game and learning from things that we didn't do right in the past. I think that'll serve as an advantage. But I don't think it gives us an advantage over any team just because we played them. But I know older guys that have played in those previous games, like me, John, ton of guys have learned so much from those games and what we did wrong in those games and preparation and things like that. And we're doing everything we can this time around to change that.